Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off. So I only had $22 left in food stamps. So this is what I stole. Okay. They wanted $9 for this. I said, oh, I don't got $9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's always been in my purse, $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed. I'm not paying $7 for that. Okay. Let me show you the most important thing to me. Short ribs. Take off the label so that you don't beep. Get your meat. How many do you think that I got?
Yo, this is disgusting. And if you see it, she also got the coach bag right there. It looks like she got a baby seat in the back. And so that's also disgusting that a person would be online flaunting. It's bad enough that you was out here stealing, right? And I don't know if this is a troll or not, but I'm just going to take it at face value because I believe people. I believe people when they tell me who they are and when they start to talk about this type of stuff because first of all, I think that people are stupid enough to actually record this and put it online. Secondly, I think that they understand the consequences. And third, they're going to get exactly the type of visibility that they want. And so we need to highlight this type of behavior because under no circumstances in this privileged United States of America that we've civilized and we've created, and it's an environment where people are allowed to thrive. And if you're telling me that you just immediately started stealing on November 1st because of a government shutdown, where I think that we're entirely too interdependent on the government in the first place, and that over 42 million people, allegedly over 42 million people, are dependent on the federal government to feed them, which I think is wild. That is just insane to me. For you to be sitting there, putting your phone up in your car with a baby seat in the back, and then you're talking about having stuffed salmon and short ribs, and you trying to teach people how to steal. This is the worst example of what we experience inside of our culture. And when I say our culture, I'm talking about American culture because I don't think that it's only black people. I think that it's a ton. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that there's a ton of white people that steal. They don't. They're not as. I haven't seen any of these people actually talk about it online and be as forthcoming with their pilfering as this woman is. But it is. It's disgusting. I don't think that we should celebrate it at all. And they encouraging other people to do these horrible things.
How many short ribs is that?
Is anyone else scared about what's going to happen this weekend? Because someone close to me works in a job that requires her to go into a lot of retail stores, like grocery stores. And she said today that within a 15-minute period of being at one of the stores she goes to, she saw 5 people stealing, taking food and walking out. And I asked, like, do you see that normally? I mean, she goes to a lot of different locations, a lot of different areas. And she said that she sees it, but not like this. Like, never like that many people in that short of a period of time. And all I can think is, when these benefits don't hit on the 1st, what's going to happen? Are people going to just like descend upon stores? And I'm so torn about it because do I think people should be able to just walk into stores and steal? No, we need to have a society that functions. Like we need rules. But on the other hand, am I going to cry a tear for Walmart if they get cleaned out? No, but I do worry for the people that work there. And for, I don't know, it just, is this how we get martial law? Like what's going to happen? Because it's, my initial thought was to worry about the kids that won't get food because their parents will run out. But this is going to get ugly really quick. Really quick. She said there are stores that have armed guards that they're hiring. You can't utilize that on a person for stealing food now. Now you can't. But is that going to change? Is that where we're headed?
It's not.
I think that when we start to talk about a society that functions, that mentality where people think that just because there's a corporation that exists, that then allows for them or allows for other people to be able to steal from them, and the only way that you can justify um, it is by saying that you care for the workers that work there. Stealing is wrong in general. It doesn't matter if it's from a corporation or from a small individual, the crime itself, the stealing itself is not interdependent on how badly a person is going to be affected. You can't just take something from somebody because you think that they will be okay or the corporation will be okay. That's not how it works. But let me tell you what does work is that when things get so bad in a particular environment or area, because you can't just walk in and steal from these places because their margins are already low. They already bake into the cost of the products um, how much they have to mark them up based off of how much they see leave out of the back room, how much they see people stealing, labor, all of that. Part of the cost of what you're dealing with is baked into the price of groceries, baked into the price of retail goods, is how much people steal, right? If you have to hire armed guards, if you have to mark up the prices to make up for the stuff that walks out the door, you're the ones in your community that hurts. And if it gets too bad, what happens is these places either move to an online only, you got to do a call in pickup type of thing, or because that is happening in places like Chicago. Or what'll also happen is they'll just shut the whole store down and then you'll have a food desert. So if you're talking about the long-term repercussions, it'll be bad. It'll be worse for you guys. The other part of this conversation is, what do you mean? What is it going to do? People need to start either creating jobs for themselves. They need to hustle. They need to, get the bartering system. They need to get a second job. They shouldn't have been interdependent on the government in the first place. And so there's so many other preventative things. I mean, even to the point to where we should have I've been saying for years, I went on Dr. Phil and I said that why are the people that have the least amount of resources having the most kids? And y'all said, well, Anton, you can't dictate it. Now they sitting here talking about they want to go and steal. So you got to make up your mind which one you want to go with.
It's November 1st, and people want to know if they're going to get their food stamps. Now, last President Trump said was that he don't even want the people not to have their food stamps. Let me tell you what I read. First, it said that President Trump's administration cannot spend food stamps for Americans in lieu of a government shutdown. Now, they got this thing in court. And the judges is like, no, I'll see you on Monday. The thing is, today is November 1st. So we don't know yet if some states or all states, if those recipients have started to receive their food stamps. But this is what Trump said. If we are given the appropriate legal direction, and then he put in all caps, it will be my honor to give them their food stamps. What?
People just need to divest themselves from depending on the government. The fact that so many people is thinking that the government is their father and that the government owes them something, which is the taxpayers, which is the money that we pay into the tax system. And again, let's not forget that the Democrats are the ones that's allowing for the government to stay shut down. They refuse to debate. They refuse to take that L, and even to the point where Trump is looking to do the nuclear option, where he just straight up takes over to where he pushes things out so that the government can be funded, and more importantly, furloughed workers. It's a lot of people that's out here at the food banks and all of this stuff because they working and they living paycheck to paycheck, and they trying to figure out how they gonna survive. It's crazy. It's crazy. I see banks online saying, hey, if you're affected by the government shutdown, let us know. It's a lot going on. But the one thing that I do know is under no circumstances do you start to steal and then justify it. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.